This Week.
Councilman Jose Huizar had previously pushed for the rule modification, which had allowed the new Wilshire Grand Hotel to be built with a modified helicopter landing area instead of a flat roof. The hotel is still under construction. While not all buildings need a helipad, one building that does need one now has it. Anna Marcos takes us to West Hills Hospital, where a new helicopter landing pad will help raise the odds of survival for Valley patients in critical burn cases and medical emergencies.
This LA Fire Department chopper is the first to ever land at West Hills Hospital's new helipad. City leaders were on board the trial flight. The $3 million landing pad, originally built for the hospital's Grossman Burn Center, will also benefit other critical care patients here.
That's really just the entryway to other forms of critical care treatment that require rapid access. And whether that's forms of trauma or stroke, it gives us the ability to bring patients here.
A short while later, a second helicopter, this one from Mercy Air, also makes a trial landing. The use of helicopters here will completely change the way medical workers care for patients they are transporting, with more technically advanced procedures than ambulances can provide.
We have a nurse on board, so we can give a lot more medications. We can continue medications that the hospital has started in flight. We operate under a expanded scope of practice, so we do a lot of invasive procedures that they do in the ER. We do right back here.
This will bridge the gap between first responders and emergency room physicians and will, no doubt, save countless lives.
This is about saving lives, about improving response times.
After these first two inaugural flights, the helipad is now open for business, and these helicopters can transport patients more than 5 times faster than they would be transported by ground ambulance.
In our minds, that hour is minutes, and we really need to act so quickly because life is precious.
That first golden hour of care, so critical to a patient's survival, just became a lot more accessible for a lot more patients. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The money for the helipad was raised by West Hills Hospital's Board of Directors. Water is our most precious resource, and during the current drought, officials are pushing hard to make sure that the water we do have is safe and usable. Yana Kay reports.
These tanks at the San Fernando Aquifer are part of a water treatment system that help remove harmful chemicals from the water we use every day. But because of contamination of harmful toxins, dozens of wells in Los Angeles had to be shut down, leaving only 30 out of 115 that can be used.
Everyone recognizes the desperate need to upgrade our water systems.
That's why local officials, environmental groups, and community advocates gathered recently to show their support for Prop 1, the state water bond measure, which the mayor also supports.
Los Angeles relies on its groundwater resources for 11% of its drinking water supply. The more we can pump locally, the less water we need to import from hundreds of miles away.
If passed, the measure would provide funding for a statewide comprehensive water plan. Officials say the San Fernando Aquifer could be a total loss in less than a decade if nothing is done to clean it up.
When businesses are forced to drastically cut water use and don't have access to safe and reliable water, it ripples through the economy and increases costs for everyone.
Officials say the water bond will also protect the state's ecosystems and ensure that the state's drinking water is safe and reliable. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
The water bond provides $800 million for groundwater cleanup and $100 million for groundwater monitoring. Some brave kids with cancer recently received the red carpet treatment and the respect of LA's men and women in blue. Yana Kay reports on the Sunshine Kids' special visit to our city.
These kids receive a warm welcome as they walk the red carpet during the 9th annual Sunshine Kids Day in their honor. A total of 28 kids were sworn in as honorary Los Angeles police officers.
I really enjoy it because when I was little, I always said I wanted to be a policeman when I grew up.
The kids, all from different states across the country, are part of a nonprofit organization called Sunshine Kids, which provides support and services for children with cancer. The celebration is one way the organization provides them with fun and positive group activities.
This experience will go all over this country of what a great city this is and how it opens its arms and it welcomes people and kids who who could use a smile.
The ceremony was attended by 75 active and reserve police officers, and each kid was called to the podium one by one and given their honorary badge. After the morning festivities, the royal treatment continued as the kids were whisked away in a convoy of cop cars with sirens and lights as they headed to Raleigh Studios to have lunch with the crew of the television show Major Crimes. You couldn't miss the loud sirens and impressive show of unity as dozens of black and whites drove the kids to the studio. After arriving, they once again enjoyed a hero's welcome and ate hot dogs and French fries on the set of the hit show. Los Angeles Police Chief Charlie Beck also came out to say hello and to take pictures with the kids.
I think all of us have got to be in awe of these young people that have such a tough task in life.
A tough task for some tough kids who fight on with one smile at a time. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
The Sunshine Kids go on about 9 trips to different cities every year. October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and according to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, breast cancer is the second leading cause of death among women. Rasha Goel has more on what is happening locally to help spread awareness of the disease.
Breast cancer survivor Cynthia Lozano Vantal is all too familiar with the physical and emotional battles that come with the disease. She was diagnosed 13 years ago and chose to undergo a mastectomy.
Unfortunately, through my cancer journey, it's not that easy. Early cancer, even though you have early cancer, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you still have to go through the whole journey.
She's not alone. The city's own council member, Herb Wesson, lost his mother to cancer after she battled the disease 5 times.
And I submit to you that everyone who has ever lived has had this disease touch their lives one way or another.
October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Many events will be held throughout the nation, including here in Los Angeles. To help show their support, the United Firefighters of LA City recently contributed $10,000 to the American Cancer Society. The hope of the United Firefighters of Los Angeles City is that awareness of the disease will help save lives.
The International Association of Firefighters and their affiliates engage in these local fundraising and awareness campaigns nationwide so that no breast cancer patient will go without life-saving treatments and so that there is hope for a cure.
According to statistics, 1 out of 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. Cynthia Vantal is currently heading up a fundraising walk at LA Live in October with the American Cancer Society.
We're hoping and praying that we have 10,000 people there walking the streets of LA, and I'm so proud to be able to have this opportunity.
Walking the walk and talking the talk in hopes of spreading the message of breast cancer awareness and treatment. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The walk, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Los Angeles, will be held on October 18th in the Nokia Plaza at LA Live. More information can be found at makingstrideswalk.org. If you're a parent, then you probably know how difficult it can be to install a child car seat, but it doesn't have to be. Yana Kay reports.
Zachary Renew didn't even bother trying to install his 21-month-old daughter's new car seat. Instead, he left it up to the experts.
I'm one of the people that can't do it right, so I'd much better prefer the professionals handle it.
And just like Zachary, many parents find that installing a child safety seat can be quite a challenge. And even when you are able to finally install it, it may not be done correctly. That's why the Los Angeles Police Department and the Housing and Community Investment Department have partnered to show parents the right way to install a car seat.
They're really nice, they're really knowledgeable, really friendly, and will help you until it's done correctly.
It's the law for children under 8 years old and who weigh less than 80 pounds be secured in a proper child seat. But officials say more than 70% of car seats are not properly installed.
You can buy the most expensive car seat, but if it's not installed properly, it doesn't do any good.
Officials say parents should not only make sure the car seat is installed the right way, but that the seat is appropriate for their child. Shopping for a car seat can be overwhelming for many parents, but you do want to make sure you get the right one. So to do that, read the label. Each car seat has a label with information on it. For example, this is a forward-facing car seat, and it tells you that this particular seat holds between 20 and 50 pounds, and the height of the child should be 127 centimeters tall or less. Another important thing to note is that car seats have expiration dates, which are clearly marked on the label.
The reason for it is because the weather, hot, cold, etc., affects the seat. It weakens it. Or if the car seat is involved in a traffic collision, it must be replaced.
Officials also recommend keeping your child in a rear-facing seat at least until the age of 2 or longer. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
If you'd like to make an appointment to install your car seat, you can call 818-644-8143. The Los Angeles Police Department and the Drug Enforcement Agency recently teamed up with local medical centers to take back potentially dangerous, unused, or expired drugs. The drug take-back event was held at several Kaiser Permanente medical centers like this one in Panorama City. The LAPD was a co-sponsor of the event where residents could drop off their potentially dangerous prescription drugs, no questions asked.
And most people do have prescription drugs left over after a sickness, and they need a way to get rid of them. You don't want to drop them into the water supply.
Without events like this one, people sometimes flush their unused drugs down the toilet or throw them in the trash. That poses potential safety and health risks.
We had one woman talk about having 20 years of medications in her shelves. I mean, finding that these people are getting the message that these are not safe medications, not safe products to have accessible. Sometimes they're accessible to children, sometimes they're accessible to grandchildren.
In the future, more drop-off centers, maybe even pharmacies, may be set up to handle return of expired drugs. The last time these nationwide events were held at 4,100 drop-off sites, 390 tons of drugs were safely disposed of. An emotional day for the heroes of the Los Angeles Police Department as the Purple Heart and Medal of Valor awards were handed out. Yana Kay reports.
In 1973, retired LAPD officer Richard Birdsley was shot 3 times during what was supposed to have been a routine traffic stop. At the time, he had only one thought.
You think survival. You do whatever you can to survive.
Birdsley eventually recovered from his injuries and returned to work. For his bravery, LAPD Chief Charlie Beck honored him with a Purple Heart more than 4 decades later.
It feels good to actually know that they're thinking about us and, what had occurred back in years past.
Beardsley's story is just one of the incredible stories told during the Medal of Valor and Purple Heart Award ceremony held in Hollywood.
Well, I hope it demonstrates not only to them, but to the rest of the city that we really truly care about our personnel. We really care about the sacrifices that our officers make.
26 police officers were recognized for going above and beyond their call of duty and showing extraordinary courage to serve and protect Los Angeles citizens. Another police officer received the Medal of Valor for his bravery after pulling a driver out of a burning car on the 405 freeway.
As soon as he hit that divider, it burst into flames. I mean, the fire was incredible. 15, 20-foot flames. On seeing that, I jumped out of my vehicle, ran to the vehicle, and I was fortunate enough to get the driver who was unconscious out of the car.
Councilmember Mitch Englander said he couldn't be more proud of these brave men and women.
These aren't just heroes, and all of our police and firefighters are heroes. These are superheroes. These are the men and women who really did truly risk it all. They ran towards danger. They ran towards bullets. They ran into fires.
14 officers received the Medal of Valor and 12 received Purple Hearts at this year's ceremony. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
The Los Angeles Police Foundation hosted the awards ceremony. Got an old couch or bed you want to throw to the curb? You might want to think again before dumping it outside. City leaders are now teaming up with one recycling company, calling on Angelenos to clean up their streets. Anna Marcos has more.
Advocates say the practice of illegal dumping is trashing the streets in the city of Angels, and it's reached epidemic proportions in South LA. Now, one private recycling company is doing something about it. The owner of Active Recycling at 2000 West Slauson has teamed up with Councilmember Bernard Parks and other city leaders to bring illegal dumping awareness to the public. Residents can drop off unwanted bulky items here all through the month of October for free.
Any individual citywide can bring in a truckload, a carload, a trailer load of trash and dump it for free. In many instances, over $100 cost.
I'm tired of driving down the streets and seeing all this illegal dumped items
I'll see a refrigerator, I'll see a couch, I'll see chairs, I'll see anything and everything in alleyways, on the street, on the parkway.
The message here is clear. Clean up your streets, LA.
Probably the number one issue that we hear from the community when it comes to quality of life issues.
You drive past all the eyesores on the street and everybody says, why doesn't the city do this, and why don't they pick up this, and why don't they clean it up? It's not a job, it's a job for us. And this is the one time that the people will get to do what they should.
And as a reminder, the City of LA Sanitation also has its own bulky item pickup program, and that one is free all year. All you have to do is dial 311 to get your items picked up and keep LA dump free. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
For more information about the active recycling program, call 323-295-7774. Seasons change. LA plays host to an international equestrian masters and finding ways to make Los Angeles and other big cities more livable and sustainable. These stories in City Beat. It may not feel like autumn, but the proof is in the stars. The Griffith Observatory, as it does every year, marked the start of fall in the northern hemisphere by observing 2 autumnal equinox presentations. The autumnal equinox is the moment when the sun crosses the celestial equator as it moves south for winter. The equinox is also when day and night are of equal length.
First of all, we are in the Gottlieb Transit Corridor, so we're going to see a transit. A transit is when an object moves from the eastern half of the sky into the western half. It crosses your meridian.
For the next 6 months, the sun is south of the equator and shines down more directly on the Earth's southern hemisphere. Autumn ends with the winter solstice on December 21st. The inaugural Longines, that's the watch brand, Los Angeles Masters equestrian event, was held at the Los Angeles Convention Center, during which more than 30 international riders competed for $1 million over the 4-day event. Riders who took part in the elite show jumping competition included Jessica Springsteen, the daughter of Bruce Springsteen, as well as the daughter of former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg and the daughter of Bill Gates. Many competitors at the event have Olympic aspirations. The City Lab Conference recently came to the JW Marriott at LA Live and was attended by 30 mayors, including our own, urban experts, city planners, writers, technologists, economists, and designers. The event was hosted by The Atlantic, Bloomberg Philanthropies, and the Aspen Institute. Issues discussed ranged from stemming runaway productions to immigration to income inequality. The aim of City Lab is to start or continue conversations about ideas and solutions that are transforming metro centers around the world into more livable and sustainable cities. This was the second year of the summit. The inaugural gathering took place last year in New York City. The annual San Pedro Lobster Festival was once again the talk of the town. It's become a Los Angeles tradition since 1999. Michael McManus has more.
The festival featured activities for children and adults. And here's something you don't hear about every day. Children under 12 got in for free. The event is actually in the Guinness Book of World Records for consuming the most lobster in one day.
For me, it was the food, the lobster, because I've heard about the Lobster Fest for the last several years. Keep saying every year I'm going to go, and this year decided to come out.
The flavor is really scrumptious and very tasteful. It's like my mouth is in heaven right now. You got the juices and you got all the flavors just savoring in your mouth, and it just tastes really good.
The event was also sponsored by the San Pedro Fish Market and several private entities. 16 different musical acts provided the free entertainment. Michael McManus for LA This Week.
In this week's list of things to do, the Music Center Open House, A Taste of Italy, and Donna Summer exhibit. The Music Center is celebrating its 50th anniversary with a gift to the community. It's holding a free open house on Saturday, October 11th from 9 a.m. to noon. Guided tours of Walt Disney Concert Hall, Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, Amundsen Theater, and Mark Taper Forum are available. Tours depart every 15 minutes. Go to musiccenter.org to reserve your space. The Music Center is located at 135 North Grand Avenue, downtown. Also on Saturday, October 11th, is the Taste of Italy at the Pico House. The Taste of Italy is LA's premier food and wine event to benefit the Italian-American Museum that takes place at the El Pueblo Historical Monument, home to Olvera Street. You'll be able to enjoy delicious, authentic Italian cuisine, live music, and mingle with celebrity guest chefs. Pico House is located at 424 North Main Street downtown. For ticket prices and other details, call 213-485-8432. And any Donna Summer fans in the house? This past summer, the Grammy Museum unveiled its latest temporary exhibit, Donna Summer: 4 Seasons of Love. This will be the first exhibition highlighting the career of the legendary Queen of Disco, with gowns and costumes designed by the singer herself, handwritten lyrics and notes, never-before-seen photographs, and much more. The Grammy Museum is located at 800 West Olympic Boulevard downtown. The exhibit will be on display through spring 2015. For museum hours, ticket prices, and other info, go to GrammyMuseum.org. And that's a look at some upcoming things to do. And in This Week in Tweets, we bring you some highlights from city leaders who took to social media in recent days. Councilmember Mitchell Englander posted this photo on Instagram showing him holding up a pink LAFD Goes Pink shirt. He wrote, "Proud to join United Firefighters of Los Angeles City to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. LAFD Goes Pink." Councilmember Felipe Fuentes took to Twitter several times to celebrate the opening of the second phase of the bike path on San Fernando Road in Pacoima. He retweeted this photo of himself riding on the newly opened path, with several others following behind. And Councilman Joe Buscaino posted this YouTube video on Twitter to proclaim Wilmington Book Fair was awesome.
Baby llama stomps and pouts, baby llama jumps and shouts.
Eric Garcetti read Llama Llama Red Pajama, and 10,000 books given away. A decades-old parade brings pomp and circumstance to Olympic Boulevard once again, with the goal of showcasing the city's best assets, its residents who hail from every corner of the world. The 41st Los Angeles Korean Parade marched down Olympic Boulevard in Koreatown on a recent Saturday. But it wasn't just about Korean culture. In fact, the name of the game was diversity. Young martial artists demonstrated their skills, while a New Orleans-style band entertained parade goers.
I love the people. I love the festival.
The Korean Festival is one of the most important events in the city of Los Angeles in terms of culture, art, raise the awareness of the importance of Koreatown.
The parade also featured dancers who brought a bit of Latin flavor to the celebration, as well as a procession of vintage police cruisers with Councilmember Tom LaBonge riding alongside.
41st Annual Parade down Olympic Boulevard, Koreatown. It's very exciting. All the historic police cars, fire department, marching band. It's a great time. I say, Kamsahamnida Chingu. That's thank you, friend.
And a spirit of friendship is what this annual parade hopes to exude by inviting neighbors to learn more about Koreatown while opening its arms to embrace the cultures that make Los Angeles, Los Angeles. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. A reminder that you could catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
Need a recycling center? Call 311, the toll-free number for non-emergency services. 311, your one call to City Hall. Illegally parked cars? Call 311, the toll-free number for non-emergency services. 311, your one call to City Hall.
911 emergency, operator 271.
The city of Los Angeles receives over 2 million 911 calls every year. Hello,
I'm Mayor Eric Garcetti.
I'm Chief Charlie Beck. A significant number of 911 calls are not emergencies.
911 should be used for emergency calls, such as preservation of life, a crime in progress, prevention of a crime, or a public hazard.
If your call is not an emergency, such as a loud party, verbal dispute, public nuisance, or lost or missing property, you can dial 1-877-ASK-LAPD to have the police respond.
Remember, call 1-877-ASK-LAPD for non-emergency calls.
Los Angeles Police Department, what are you reporting?
Hola, soy Marisol, desde Canoga Park, la ciudad toda americana. Estás viendo LA City View, Canal 35, nuestra ciudad, nuestro canal.
council members, if I can please ask you to make your way to council. Fantastic. Thank you so much. We need to open council meetings every day with music. And before we get started here, actually, let's go ahead and get started. Today is Tuesday, October 7th, 2014. Welcome to the Los Angeles City Council. We are also streamed live on the internet and on Channel 35 for folks to watch at home as well. So with that, Madam Clerk, can we please call the roll?
Blumenfield, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Ingador, Fuentes, Huizar, Carrasco, Corning, LaBanche, Martinez, O'Farrell, Parks, Price, Wesson. 11 members present, a quorum, Mr. President.
Great, thank you. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Okay, Mr. Blumenfield moves, Mr. Bonin seconds.
Next is committee resolutions for approval.
Okay, Mr. LaBange moves, and Ms. Martinez seconds.
Mr. President, today is Tuesday. Now would be the time for the flag salute.
Okay, before we start the flag salute, and I'm just going to ask Ms. Martinez to lead us in the flag salute. Councilwoman, can you tell us who opened the council meeting for us this morning as well with some terrific music?
And here joining us on our Latino Heritage Month celebration in council, El Trio Ellas. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President. If everyone can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, members, if I could just direct your attention to the agenda. Madam Clerk, let's run through the agenda.
Items 1 and 2 are items noticed for public hearing. There are cards on both items.
Okay, we'll go ahead and hold both of those items.
Items 3 through 9 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Okay, members? Seeing no members on the queue, we'll go ahead and open the roll. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Councilmember Krikorian. Number 6.
Mr. President, also item 8. Thanks.
Okay, seeing no other members, Mr. Huizar, did you have one? Just standing, okay. Seeing no other, Mr. LaBanche. Okay, please open the roll on the balance of those items. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Great, thank you. Madam Clerk, next items.
Items 10 through 17 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes required for consideration.
Okay, those are considered without objection. Mr. LaBanche.
Table, I'd like to see the city engineer about this street vacation, or check with the powerful chairman of Public Works to get a little more idea on this one. 11.
Okay. Item 11 for Mr. LaBanche. Any other specials? Do we have cards?
Yes, cards on items 10, 13, and 15.
Okay, so the balance of those items?
And then Mr.
17. I want that specialist staff is here. I want them to address that.
Okay.
And also, Mr. President, there's a request to continue item 12 for 1 week until October 14th.
Okay, that'll be the order without objection. We have items 14 and 16, colleagues. 14 and 16 with no cards. Please open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, thank you. And that takes us to presentations, I believe. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to Councilwoman Martinez. The floor is yours.
Mr. President, before the presentation begins, if I could read an admonition into the record. Audience members should be advised that unless addressing council or entering or leaving the council chamber, all audience members shall remain seated in the seats provided. No person shall be in the center aisle without the presiding officer's permission. The sergeants should be instructed to keep the center aisle clear for its intended purpose of providing access to and exit from the podium.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, today I'm happy to stand here and celebrate the great work of some amazing women. I came to council a year ago, and I'm not only the only woman elected in the city, but I'm also the first Latina in 25 years. And I know we can do better. We need strong women and Latina leaders as role models for the next generation of women in our city. This is why I began to recognize local women leaders as part of my Latino Heritage Month, honoring Latinas in the city. If we want the future of women leaders to be inspired, we need to make sure that they can see role models that look just like them. Today, we are recognizing women leading and making a difference in their community. Our city is made up of many diverse and distinct neighborhoods. It is the diversity that makes Los Angeles such a wonderful city to live in, one where we can celebrate our own cultures. And over the past month, we have celebrated and recognized the rich cultures and traditions of Latinos during Latino Heritage Month. Since the founding of this great city, Latinos have had a profound and positive impact on development and evolution of our communities. And we can see the influence of their strong commitment to family, faith, hard work, and service. Today we celebrate how art is one of the many ways to explore our culture. This year I want to pay recognition to women who are using the art to reflect the strength of their stories and experiences. And I am proud to say that with this in mind, we are celebrating one of my generation's most iconic Latina musicians, Sheila E. As well as Latinas from across the city that are impacting their communities right here in Los Angeles. The women being honored today are sharing their heritage through personal history through their work. And as we can see, arts is an invaluable tool to achieve the past, understand the present, and activate change in the future. I am excited to stand here and recognizing an amazing group of women who are helping shape their communities through the arts. And we have a video. Colleagues, I'd like to introduce to you a remarkable woman, a Latina who has been able to break the traditional barriers for women in entertainment. A singer, a percussionist, performer, and actress, Sheila Escobedo, known for her stage name as Sheila E., has had a long and illustrious career. Born into a musical family, Sheila picked up the drumsticks at the age of 6. Influenced by her father, Latin jazz, and timbalero Pete Escobedo, while watching him rehearse. At the age of 5 years old, she made her first concert debut at the former Sands Ballroom in Oakland. And she was invited on stage by her father to play a solo in front of an audience of 3,000 people. She says that at the moment she knew exactly what she wanted to do. She was going to be a percussionist. By her 20s, she had established herself as a talented percussionist, performing with big names and artists such as Lionel Richie, Marvin Gaye, and Diana Ross. She became a household name in the 1980s when she began collaborating with Prince. And her album, Glamorous Life, vaulted her into international pop stardom. But talent did not stop at the drums. Her talent did not stop at the drums. In 1998, she became television's first female musical director, the Magic Johnson's variety show, The Magic Hour, and has had many notable appearances, including the 35th Annual Academy Awards and the 1996 Summer Olympics. After a lifetime of success, she continues to further her career, and last year she released her memoir, The Beat of My Own Drum. The book reminds us of the power of music and its ability to save a person's life. In 2001, Sheila co-founded Elevate Hope Foundation, a nonprofit that assists the needs of abused and neglected children through music therapy. As a survivor of sexual abuse, she has been quoted by saying that her exposure to music at an early age assisted her in her own healing process. She credits her parents, music, and God with giving her the will to carry on and build a lasting legacy. Today we pay a special tribute to her because she embodies our celebration, Latinas who are using arts to reflect the strength of their stories and their experiences. It is truly an honor to have her here today to pay tribute to the work of Latinas in Los Angeles. Please help me welcome the iconic and phenomenal Sheila E.
Thank you very much. It is truly an honor to be here this morning. I cannot thank you enough for this distinguished recognition. My career in the music industry has been shaped by both success and struggles, opportunity and adversity. So what can I say to that? As Latina and as a woman, I had as many supporters as I had critics. For every person that stood beside me to tell me I could do it, there was another telling me that I could not. My journey in this industry has often been called a rare thing, a female musician, no less a drummer and percussionist of Latin heritage. And maybe at the time it was rare, but now in the industry with so much potential for growth, I hope to see women and men of all backgrounds represented in their talents championed. Music for me has always been about celebration of life, of love, of the journey itself, and I will forever be thankful, not only for those who supported me throughout my career, but also for those voices that said I couldn't do it because I was a woman, because I'm Latina, or because of anything. Those voices inspire me to do my part in making the music world a celebration of everyone. As a Latina, as a woman, as an equal to any instrument or creed, I will strive so that there will be cause for all people to celebrate themselves. Thank you. God bless you.
Very impressive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Colleagues, now I would like to take the opportunity to recognize the work of our local leaders, the women who are making positive impact in every district in Los Angeles. These women have their own stories to tell. Every day, women are working hard to influence our communities. It is important that we recognize and highlight the impact that these women are making in our city. I invite you to introduce your honoree, and I know Council Members Parks and Council President Wesson couldn't be here today, but I did want to recognize our honorees. Alegra Padilla, who is Council District 8. Thank you very much for being here. She is being recognized by Council Member Parks and also Council President Wesson. His honoree is Mujer del Barrio, Mujer de Hierro. He couldn't be here today, but we want to recognize him, and we can start to my right, Mr. Huizar. Whenever you're ready to introduce your honoree.
Thank
Very much, Ms. Martinez, and thank you so much for bringing this presentation to the council chambers. And Sheila, congratulations, very well recognition from the city of LA. I recall in the 80s when we were looking for some of us to be shown on the big screen and in the top 40, we were looking for a reflection of ourselves in the barrios and in the Latino community, and you were there. We all were rooting for you, and you were represented as well. Congratulations to you. And Ms. Martinez, my nominee could not be here today on the last-minute family emergency, but I nominate Ms. Glenna Avila as Council District 14's Latina in Art. She is an accomplished artist who has lived in Northeast Los Angeles her entire life, including her current home in El Sereno, where she's lived for decades. In the 80s, Ms. Avila gained notoriety when she was commissioned by the Los Angeles Olympic Organizing Committee to bring us Los Angeles famed freeway murals. This includes LA Freeway Kids that many of you seen as you drive down the 10 and the 101, and they are on the walls of many other freeways as well. It was recently actually upgraded with the help of the Mural Conservancy of Los Angeles, and I did see Isabella here someplace. There you are. Congratulations to you. And I am very happy to announce that Ms. Avila is assisting my office to bring more of our utility mural art boxes to her own neighborhood of El Sereno. We've done dozens of utility boxes that have transformed downtown and Boyle Heights and soon El Sereno and the northern part of our district. As a huge supporter of the arts and Los Angeles as the mural capital of the world, I couldn't be more proud to nominate Glenna Avila for today's celebration. Glenna is the consummate artist, educator, and arts administrator who has dedicated her life to the arts, young people, and enriching our communities. I congratulate Glenna and wish her much luck, and we are very, very proud of her as an artist and as a woman and as a Latina. Thank you.
Morning, colleagues. It's a privilege to stand here with Christy Sandoval. She's the honoree for the 7th Council District. Christy is a public artist with deep roots in the Northeast San Fernando Valley. Most recently, she's helped us really promote Pacoima, which I would say is the center of the 7th Councilmatic District, in that we have a fantastic area of public art display in the Miracle, I call it Miracle Mural Mile. Up and down Van Nuys Boulevard, there are walls that are beautifully painted and reminders of the deep heritage and roots that the San Fernando Valley has, and it's been aided and transformed by tremendous artists like Christy Sandoval. She has numerous murals on display in Van Nuys Boulevard, in Pacoima, and throughout. She's also been a real pioneer in putting together groups, nonprofits, that help other people connect to the art. Most recently, the Bikesanas group she's one of the original co-founders, and what they do, colleagues, is they explore different parts of Los Angeles on their bicycles, but most recently, they've dedicated a mural ride to be able to engage the community in public art. Additionally, Christy is a founding member of Hood Sisters, an all-woman crew dedicated to creating awareness through public art. They hope to continue to transform the streets into beautiful spaces, and I think they've already done a great job. Christy is doing tremendous work. She's lent her expertise, her knowledge to academia as well, like UCLA, in talking about how it is that Los Angeles can transform public space and celebrate it. So it's not just the arts. It is what it does to people and how it connects them to one another. And I think that the medium that she has chosen to do most of her work in, murals, is tremendous, not just for the 7th Council District, but for all of Los Angeles. And so it's my distinct honor to present Christy with this beautiful resolution here commemorating today her achievements and everything that she's doing for Los Angeles and the 7th Councilmatic District. Please give her a big round of applause. You're going to have you need an assistant because we got these little flowers for you too. There you go. You got it. Ruben, give her a hand, will you? Congratulations.
Okay. Colleagues, it's great to honor Carla Diaz, amazing artist out of Wilmington, California. the artist and co-founder of Slangwidge, a studio artist-run space that grew organically from an active studio to a public engagement space, interfacing with community, national and international artists and youth. In fact, two of the lives that she impacted in art are here with us, who started with Carla when they were 12 years old. Help me welcome Monica and Gloria here as well. Carla and her husband Mario, who's also joined us here, have been in the forefront of many pilot events, exhibitions and programs in diverse cities, museums, and art galleries around the world. Carla and Mario are a team like no other in life and in the work they do. They understand the true importance of providing a nurturing and growing environment for young artists, such as Monica and Gloria. The art collective Slangwidge was founded in 2012 in the heart of Wilmington. Slangwidge opened its doors to the public, leading teen workshops, hosting art exhibitions, and leading music and performance events. Its residency, Slang Air, AIR, has been a catalyst for interfacing with young emerging artists, youth, teaching artists, and the community. Their work has been presented in different art institutions such as the ICA Boston, Whitney Museum, LACMA, MoCA, and Tate Modern in London, Chicago Hyde Park Center, and participated in the Arco Fair in Madrid, Spain, CoLab in Los Angeles, and were part of the first Made in LA Biennial. I would like to formally congratulate Carla Diaz for her accomplishments and thank her for her love and dedication to the arts in our community in Wilmington and the youth that she has impacted, such as Monica and Gloria before you. Carla, just know that you are well loved in the Wilmington community. We are so proud of you and your efforts in promoting the arts in Wilmington, and we thank you and wish you much success in the years to come. And on behalf of the city, we welcome and thank you. Carla Diaz, co-founder of Slangwidge Studio, Latinas in the arts. So, Councilwoman Martinez, thank you for allowing us to recognize our community members. And Sheila E. is in the house, which made my day, by the way. Thank you, Sheila. We love you. Thank you so much, Sheila. Thanks, Chris. Mr. Bonnet.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you to Ms. Martinez for putting together this wonderful and very appropriate celebration. Colleagues, I am really excited to be able to honor Deborah Padilla today. I have known Deborah for almost 20 years. We've sort of grown up in Venice together in the world of art and in the world of public service. She has been the executive director since 1993 of SPARC, the Social and Public Art Resource Center, which is housed in Venice, but which helps decorate and adorn our entire city with some of the most beautiful murals and art that we see. One of their signature works is the Great Wall of Los Angeles, which is the master narrative of our city's history that adorns the walls of the Tujunga Wash. Deborah comes to us originally from Arizona, where she was the managing director of the Borderlands Theater in Tucson. She drove here through the desert in a beat-up car, and she has been with SPARC almost since the time she got here. Her leadership at SPARC has brought to that organization both an artistic vision and a very strong and a passionate commitment to community and to making a better Los Angeles through the championing of personal story and of progressive values. In addition to all her work with SPARC over the years, she's been on numerous panels and committees, more than I could possibly list. Just a few of them with the Rockefeller Foundation, the J. Paul Getty Trust for the Visual Arts, the Hispanic Heritage Awards Foundation, National Endowment for the Arts, the Latino Theater Council, and the Latino Theater Initiative at the Mark Taper Forum, the John Anson Ford Latino Audience Initiative Advisory Council, the County Tourism Department, and the County Arts Commission Civic Art Panel. She served for 5 years on the Diversity Advisory Committee for the Center Theater Group of Los Angeles. She's a proud member of Art Table, which is the leadership organization for women in the visual arts. She currently serves as the chair of the board of directors of Arts LA, because of course our mayor has robbed Arts LA of its previous person and put Danielle in charge of our Cultural Affairs Department. Deborah was also part, this is noteworthy, of the inaugural group of 12 women selected out of 120 applicants in Los Angeles for the Women's Leadership Circle. WLC recognizes and supports the diversity of women's leadership and brings together circles of women from different communities and disciplines, and they engage in social justice work to collectively create better lives and a better Los Angeles. I have watched Deborah lead Spark for almost 20 years. I have seen her bring to that organization a commitment to the arts, a passion for community, and a real drive for a better Los Angeles. Commitment and passion, and most of all, the thing that you bring is a tremendous heart. Right. Thank you. It is an honor to honor you today.
Colleagues, I'm thrilled to join you all in this wonderful celebration, and I especially want to thank Councilwoman Martinez for bringing us this today. The Latinas in the Art Day is really, it's a special day, and I'm glad to be here. And I'm particularly proud to recognize Addie Gonzalez as my honoree for Latinas in Arts Day. Architecture, design, and art have always been an integral part of her career and her personal interests. She started at a very young age, when her mother would read to her at night some of the world's greatest authors. They would sit together and they would read Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Isabel Allende, Laura Esquivel, Octavia Paz, Pablo Neruda, among others. These late night reading sessions not only made her highly educated beyond her years, but really enhanced her love of art. She received her bachelor's degree in art history from UCLA and graduated with a master's degree in arts administration from Drexel University. The art history courses that she took were an essential part of her understanding the importance of art in our world and seeing the relationship between art, social movement, technology, and cultural shifts. She is the president of the Board of Arts and Education Aid Council, which is a San Fernando Valley-based arts organization, nonprofit dedicated to offering art programming to public schools in the Valley. She's using her love of art to bring the next generation along. Her experience in volunteering has deeply impacted her notion of nonprofits and how beneficial they are to entire communities and individuals. And she's one of the founders of the 1111, which is a creative arts coalition right there in Tarzana in my district. And she's really helped, along with the coalition, just bringing a spark of life to the community and bringing arts to folks and helping people appreciate it. The collective is committed to recognizing and celebrating artists of all backgrounds who experience and produce exceptional and innovative works. They've produced a number of group exhibitions, fundraisers, live art events, and community-based events, including the Canoga Park Thursdays Art Walk, Arts in Numbers, and in Reseda, and most recently a number of fine art shows in their traveling gallery in Tarzana. They are making a difference every day. You are making a difference every day. Adi works tirelessly to promote and expose the San Fernando Valley art, and I am honored to have her here today and going to present her with this lovely certificate. It's very different looking than all the other certificates you've seen. Because it has your name on it, and it talks about the wonderful things that you've done. So congratulations, and please accept this small token.
We'll go ahead and go over to Councilmember Parks, or is not here. Mr. Price, then? I don't see who's...
Thank you, Mr. President. It really is an honor to celebrate Latinas in the arts. Unfortunately, my honoree is not with us today. She had a school conflict. But we wanted to honor Miss Edith Sanchez, who's a student at Trade Tech College and resides in the Ninth. She's known in the community for her beautiful sketches that have been displayed throughout the city at cultural and other community events. She told me that her art helps her connect with others and knows that art will be her passion no matter where her education takes her. It's something she believes in and something she certainly represents. And so while she wasn't able to join us today because of school responsibilities. I just wanted to recognize her and to thank Councilwoman Martinez for her leadership in bringing these wonderful honorees to our attention who celebrate not only the arts but our community. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. My honoree is the incomparable Patsy Valdez of Echo Park. I also want to give a shout out to our wonderful colleague Nuri Martinez for bringing this event to City Hall and hosting a wonderful reception earlier that we all enjoyed. It gives me such great pleasure to bring Patsy as my honoree of Latinas in the Arts. She is a renowned painter, performance, and installation artist. For over 3 decades, Patsy Valdez has been known for her boldly rendered works that vary in themes from homages to female deities and mystical environments. First recognized as an East Los Angeles Chicano rights performance artist to an introspective painter whose sadness and torment laced her canvases, to a woman coming to peace with herself, her work, and her life through her painting. Patsy's work also has become popular among many in Hollywood. She was hired to paint several works and assist in the production design for Gregory Nava's 1990 film, Mi Familia. Nava said he was attracted to her use of strong colors and ability to give life to a room. From her days as a performance artist, Valdez was interested in depicting virgins, queens, and goddesses, important female figures in Latin American culture, symbolizing beauty, strength, and healing. Patsy's been a force of inspiration for young Latina artists. Art is an invaluable tool to archive the past, understand the present, and activate change in the future. And here are just a few of Patsy's accomplishments. Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute's Latina of Excellence Award in Cultural Arts. The Latino Heritage Month Award, Spirit of Los Angeles. Mexican Cultural Institute's Estrellas de Nuestra Cultura Award. KCET honor, Her Story is Our Story, celebrating the women of our community. Her exhibitions and collections have been featured at from local events like the Echo Park Art Walk to the Los Angeles County Museum of Art at LACMA, Latino Museum in Los Angeles, El Paso Museum of Art, El Paso, Texas, the Mexican Museum, San Francisco, Mexican Fine Arts Center Museum in Chicago, the National Museum of American Art, Smithsonian. American art is Chicano art. National Hispanic Cultural Center of New Mexico, National Museum of Women of the Arts in Washington, D.C. Finally, I'd like to give a great round of applause to all of the selected emerging artists here today who don't just tell us their stories, they show us. And so it is my great honor to present this unframed certificate. I feel very ashamed, Joe and Felipe.
No, I prefer it.
Okay, thank you. To Patsy Valdez, the great artist from Echo Park.
Congratulations. Mr. LaBonge. Oh, Mr. O'Farrell?
Yes.
Framed.
See? I better change it.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Mr. Weezar for the nice things he said about Chile. And I thought about Willie G and all the guys from Salesian High and the Midnighters and how music came from the high schools and how the guys usually got ahead. And now you've surpassed it. You're a role model. You're making a difference. Give Chile another big hand. And I want to say something nice about Nuri Martinez. When there's only one on the team, she's got to be a stronger team, and she certainly is. Give Nuri another big hand. And I want you to take a picture with all of them right there in the middle afterwards. But I have someone right here, Isabel Rosas Williams, who is the executive director for the Los Angeles Mural Conservancy. Born in Chile, came here 41 years ago, taught at Cal State University, Los Angeles in art. She's been an inspiration for artists, which is so important to coordinate so you get the proper. We did a lot of work, Mr. Weezar, on the ordinance that you crafted for the murals, which is so important. Just recently, over at the Pico House at Alvera Street, we celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Olympic murals, which many of you still see on the freeways. And it was her inspiration to bring that event again with the artists, which is so important. And I'm so proud of you because you're on our Mexico City Sister City program. Yes. And as you know about Sister Cities, it's what Mr. Eisenhower, as president, former warrior in World War II as a general, said it must be people to people. And cities to cities and culture. Yes. And art, music, and dance and athletics does bring peace to the world. So I just think it's so important that I honor you today. I'm so proud of you. And we thank you for your continual service. Thank you so much, Isabel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you right there. Thank you. Right here, right here, right here. Hold the bottom of it. Hold the bottom of it. Hold the bottom. Good job.
All right, thank you. Congratulations. Mr. Koretz.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And of course, I'd also like to thank my friend Nuri Martinez for putting together such an amazing event. We all appreciate your good work on this. Let's give her one more hand. And now it's my pleasure to recognize a very worthy honoree, Karen Gutierrez. Next month marks her milestone 10-year anniversary as a member of the Geffen Playhouse staff. The Geffen is one of the most prominent professional theaters not only in Los Angeles but throughout the country. And Karen is the director of advertising and sponsorships for the Geffen, and in that position works with many other arts institutions, corporations and firms, print and electronic media outlets from throughout Southern California. And among her many advertising and marketing innovations, Karen created the Geffen's highly popular and successful signature series, including Talkback Tuesdays, Girls Night Out, Lounge Fridays, TGIF, and Wind Down Sundays to develop new audiences for the Geffen. She also created the Geffen's Young Industry Insider Group called The Fourth Wall. Karen's a graduate of USC, and as Mr. Krikorian knows, I won't hold that against her. Go Bruins. And she has a BA there in communications and anthropology. She's of Chilean ancestry and still has a lot of family back in Chile with whom she visits frequently, including her wonderful grandmother. Karen was elected this year as a member of the Westwood Community Council in their arts nonprofit seat and is well respected in the Westwood community. And I'm proud that Karen is our CD5 Latina in the Arts honoree, and we thank you for everything you do for the Geffen, for the Westwood community, and for the city as a whole.
Congratulations. Thank you. And Mr. Krikorian.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And although my honoree is apparently on the bridge trying to get through security to get here, I'm going to try to extend my comments a bit to give her the opportunity to arrive.
If you'd like, I've got my honoree sitting here, so I was going to go last.
If you
and then
would,
I'll have you
if
clean
you would
up.
Be so kind,
and,
Mr. President. That would
although
be...
we won't now be saving the best for last because we're going to take her now, but yes, we'll. I appreciate it.
That may be debatable.
Very debatable. We've got a lot of special people. First and foremost, before I introduce my honoree, I'd like to thank Councilwoman Nuri Martinez for doing this. This is truly remarkable, and we were just talking about how rare it is where each one of us get to pick one unique person, one special person from our district, and bring them to City Hall to honor them. And how important that is, because we're honoring the work that they've done, and they continue to do. Maria Rosales is incredibly special. She is a proven leader at the Police Activity League Youth Center, which many of you have been to and know well. She teaches our young kids folklorico dance at the center. And so for those of you who don't know, and in fact her dancers were at my inauguration and performed 3 years ago at the Powell Center. The Powell Center that is near and dear to my heart. These are kids that, without question, and without Maria's support and leadership and her guidance, would absolutely be in jail, in gangs, or on drugs. She isn't just a spectacular leader in teaching incredible dance and talents and giving inspiration to these young kids. She's saving lives. She's literally saving lives. And in fact, hundreds of them for years. She, since PALS is mostly run all by volunteers, and we don't have a huge budget, Maria gets paid for one day and volunteers all the other days, where she goes and continues, and at night and on weekends, and performances throughout, special events going out all over the city of LA. She's there. There are few people like that, and it's really an honor, quite frankly, to see somebody from every council district being honored and showing how much of a difference people are making in the city. She's responsible for mentoring these children, and then she helps them with instructing them in their classes as well. The developmental skills that she teaches them, the creativity, she's directed them all the way through life. And so it's not just about the performances and her dance. We are also joined by Sue, our executive director of PALS, and Ralph and Ivan, if you can stand up and be recognized as well. Thank you so much. These guys are incredible, truly amazing. Maria, I want to thank you for everything you do. You are truly an angel in the City of Angels, so God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Krikorian.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It's a great, well, let me say first, let me join in the chorus, because we have to recognize the importance of this event that Councilmember Nury Martinez put together, not only in taking a moment to recognize the incredible achievement of so many extraordinary Latinas, but to remember how much Latinas contribute in all endeavors in our society, and also the incredible cultural richness and diversity that we enjoy here and sometimes take for granted in Los Angeles that just isn't present in any other city in the world. The kind of diversity that we have here, the breadth of our cultural experience is just incomparable in the history of cities. And it's something really extraordinary about the city. And so, Ms. Martinez, thank you for giving us this moment to celebrate that and to celebrate so many extraordinary women. I'm very pleased and proud to be able to honor Andrea Del Paso, who discovered her love for painting at the age of 6 when she was attending the Instituto Vocacional de Arte La Varden in Buenos Aires, Argentina. From 1976 to 1984, Andrea advanced her drawing and painting studies in fine art with master painter Anselmo Piccoli. And in 1988, she graduated from the University of Buenos Aires of Architecture and Urbanism with a degree in Architecture and Urban Design. She has been a celebrated and accomplished fine artist and architect, and moved to Los Angeles in 1990, attracted by the opportunities for creative expression here, as well as the imaginary worlds that are created here through our film and television industry. So it wasn't long before Andrea expanded her career and began working as a set designer and concept illustrator in the motion picture industry as well. From 1993 to 1996, she worked as art director and set designer for Wildhouse Inc. Scenery Shop and has freelanced in more than 100 commercials. Her work can be seen in motion pictures such as, and television series such as Life of Pi, which I just watched again last night. It was incredible. Angels and Demons, Iron Man, House of Cards, Star Trek, Spider-Man, and the favorite of the Krikorian household, SpongeBob SquarePants. And so Andrea's career really is an example of the merger of the fine arts and creative expression with our film and television industry here in Southern California, and how important the work of television production and film production is in expanding the careers of so many who want to give voice to their creativity. So Andrea now works as a senior set designer and architect, and her work can be seen in her private collection can be seen at Gallery 800, which is located in our district, Council District 2. She's a remarkable artist whose incredible creative talent has given so much to so many. So I'm very pleased to recognize Andrea Del Paso with this certificate, and my thanks, Andrea, for all that you give to the city of Los Angeles. And these are for you. Don't put water on your certificate.
Congratulations. And Mr. LaBonge.
I would like to ask Ms. Martinez to orchestrate all the awardees right here for a great group shot. For
I was just going to announce that. Great minds think alike. Thank you so much. So, council members, if we can all have you down in the center of the horseshoe along with your honoree.
Yeah, I need a couple more. Wait, stay. I need a couple more. Right here. Squeeze on in. Sorry, everybody. Squish. Squish. Come on, big smiles. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good. Great. Good job. Thank you.
ladies, Betsy and Sherry, city photographers, give them a hand, city photographers. Miss Ventura, from our opinion, over 25 years, great photographer.
Okay, council members, we're going to go ahead and actually vote on two items while you're emptying council chambers for the photos. 11 and 17, we have no cards on those, so we'll go ahead and open the roll on 11-17, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Great, thank you. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and take item 10 for cards. Item 10. Herman, John, and Donna, come on up.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org or J. Walsh Confidential, tweeting at Hollywood Dems for identification purposes only, chair of the vote no on every single proposition on the state ballot. This concerns the appointment of Ms. Shane Goldsmith to the Homeless Service Authority Commission. I'd like to invite her up to my neighborhood in Hollywood. She can just sit down in the street furniture that's strewn all over our neighborhood and get to actually meet these people. I've talked to them. They don't want to live in the street. They want to live at a home. This Homeless Services serves itself. It does
excuse me,
a good job.
Hold us time. If I haven't called your name, you cannot be standing in the aisles. It's only for those who I've called names for at this time. The announcement was made before council, and that'll be the final. Do not yell out from the council chambers, please, unless you're at the podium. Thank you, Mr. Walsh.
You're welcome. And that goes double for black people. They don't want you in the aisles. White people, Anyway, Miss Shane Goldsmith, now I want to say good things about her. Unlike somebody you put up here, and she has never been arrested for kiddie porn. As you know, one of you, the people that got a vote here, unanimous, is now in prison for kiddie porn. You don't investigate these people very closely. She got her job. She got this appointment by giving money to the campaign of Mr. Garcetti. I'm sure she'll be she won't cause any harm. She'll be as worthless as all the other people on the commission. We have the worst homeless problem in America. We've had it ever since Villaraigosa became mayor. HollywoodHighlands.org. Please, all the homeless, come down here and show up. Tell them what you think. HollywoodHighlands.org.
Okay. We're not in order, but this is Donna Perriman, And I want to say that I don't really feel that you really care about the homeless at all, or things would be done in this situation. And just having, she probably won't be able to do anything because you'll probably hinder her. And I'm also concerned about not only homeless people, but homeless squirrels. Over there in Lurline and Nordhoff, there's a great big field. You're going to put a great big development. It's you're going to, at best, make those squirrels homeless. At worst, kill them because they won't be able to come up and eat.
She's not talking about this.
So therefore, let's worry about homeless squirrels. Thank you.
Disruptive. How dare you insult the homeless population of people here in Los Angeles? Department of Veteran Affairs, are you aware of the homeless situations of our veterans? More so the disabled population of people on our streets today. Mr. Speaker, in your rudeness to disrupt the woman speaker.
Stay on the item.
I am on topic,
that's good.
sir.
That's the only warning you're going to get.
I am speaking on behalf of the homeless population. In this agreement to appoint Ms. Shane M. Goldsmith, where is the public transparency when it comes to choosing the most appropriate person? And I again say it to you, Mr. Speaker, from the House of Mr. Herman, you will listen and take action on behalf of homeless people. $20 million in the county, and you can't provide homes for homeless populations and vets. 1 minute, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and Mr. Speaker, thank you for the time.
Okay, it went over the other minute, though, so you lost it. Carl Williams, please.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Homeless problem. Year in, year out, y'all promised homeless people to give them a roof over their head, but y'all never fulfill your promise. All y'all do is promise, promise. That's all this politician of LA, California do. Promise the homeless people year in and year out. But the main thing to help the homeless people is to give them jobs. Y'all never give them jobs. Y'all just promise them, and promise is a comfort to a fool. Every year, promise, promise, promise. And the homeless people stay homeless. All they do is just get a cardboard box and find some street corner to sleep on. That makes you all happy. But y'all never help the homeless people. And y'all stop people from making an honest living, and that's what caused people to be homeless. No job, and when people try to create their own job, y'all send the police and to harass them, to stop them from making an honest living. That's the problem right now. No job, and people can't be self-employed. Y'all refuse to help them.
Okay, seeing no other cards, we'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. And let's go ahead and take items 1, 2, 13, and 15. So 1, 2, 13, and 15, those are called special. Herman, you have cards on 1 and 2.
Can we do number 10 forthwith, please?
10 forthwith without objection. That'll be the order. Thank you.
Ran my time without me being here, Mr. Big Ears, when there's still an issue about the dispensing of alcohol beverages for public convenience. How dare we, Sacramento, allow this to continue to happen? I would be wrong to call Mr. LaBonge an alcoholic when we're talking about the determination of public convenience of necessity to determine what is good alcohol and what is bad. Today we know that the encouragement of sales for permits for alcohol is Los Angeles' only venture of sales. That's our tax-paying dollars going to work, like Mr. Huizar, who purchased a bar in Boyle Heights. But I'm going to stick to the topic here. Regarding the alcohol beverages on-site consumption to live music venue 428 AD, whatever the hell that means, located at Hewitt Street, Los Angeles, zip code 913. If you really want to know about alcohol, ask the alcoholics, the ones who turn their chairs and do not sit here to face the gauntlet. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Speaker, again, Mr. Speaker, I, your constituent, representing Los Angeles in my fine dress, demeanor, and manner, I am overtoned about this. I believe the public cannot stand that you abuse the permit process of alcohol licenses. But yet it's okay to have drunkenness, not just on our streets, but in City Hall. It was your mistake to put marijuana pot shops without regulations. You remember? Duh. And I am talking about you, Mr. City Attorney, supposed to protect public interest. And Dion, yes, Mr. City Attorney.
You will not address the City Attorney. You will address the council on the specific items only.
And you do not have the ability to shut me up and interrupt me, Mr. Speaker.
And again, I'm going to stick to, if you do not stick to the agenda items, then you'll be asked to sit down. That's it. Okay? I've told you 3 times. Stick to the agenda items. You refuse to do it. We don't hold your time. Sit down. Sit down. You're done. I've warned you 3 times now. You're done. You're done. Thank you. Now you're disrupting the meeting. Sit down. Thank you. Mr. Walsh for items 1 and 2.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org. I also handed in cards for 13 and 15. $250,000 this city spends on putting in one traffic signal. I'm telling you, in Glendale it costs $150,000. In Pasadena it costs $125,000. In some cities it's low as $250,000. And of course, where is it? It's in the Valley. And I challenge the black people, the black city councilmen up here, to mention some traffic lights you've gotten in your neighborhood. I give credit to the Hispanics and the whites. They stick up for the Hispanics and the whites, while the black politicians up here sell the blood of their own people. And just call me all you have to do is say I'm a liar, a white boy liar. That's all you have to say. They're quiet. Okay, now reinstarting the reward offer. Again, we've challenged you. Additional 6 months, $50,000. There has been only one single reward paid out in the past 20 years. This is all a stage. You bring up the survivors. They're crying. You crucify them. You give them false hope because, and you've seen my shirt I bought on Hollywood Boulevard with the straight razor dripping blood. It's on my website. Snitches get stitches. Nobody is going to get up here and or is going to even try to speak to you quietly and tell you that who is responsible for Elawanza Peebles' murder. Because if they do, they'll get their throats slashed. This city, remember, this city is co-run by the gangsters and by the city council. This is all show, it's all theatrical. But look, you want to destroy my credibility, all you have to do right now is mention 5 rewards that were handed out in the last 20 years, and then I'm a liar. And the only thing they ever catch me on is when I refer to TEFRA as a city agency instead of a state agency. All 15 people got up here and screamed and cursed at me, all the city council. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I know that these rewards are a joke, and I just want people to know if you get killed, shot to death in the street, nobody is going to come here and rat out who did it. HollywoodHighlands.org. Take your 3 seconds, and you know what to do with it.
Donna on item 13. On item 15.
First on 13 here, we got $250,000 for one traffic signal at El Dorado, which I don't even know where that is, and Van Nuys Boulevard, probably way up over there, and fancy spot over there near Lakeview Terrace. So certainly I don't understand why you can spend $250,000 on one light, which I think somebody's overcharging you somewhere along the line, and you don't bring back video conferencing. It shows that you're sporadic on caring for the valley. You only care about bringing small things to the valley, but and honoring people for a full hour, some of them from the valley. But you don't allow us to speak over here in the valley, just only giving us every other month. So anyway, $250,000 for a street light, ridiculous. Number 15, I don't know if I get, so number 15, an unsolved murder, which shows that we're not safe and we should be able to arm ourselves and be able to have the proper weaponry, what we can do, because not only the murders are out here, which we need to protect ourselves, but ISIS is coming out here, and we need to be able to arm ourselves against ISIS, because Obama's certainly not protecting us.
She is not talking about this item.
So, as I said, we need to arm ourselves. Thank you very much.
Not on the items. Thank you. All right, so we've got 2 council members also on items. Well, we'll go ahead and let's do this. Let's take items 1, 2, 13, and 15 will be before us, and we'll come back to item 6 and 8. So 1, 2, 13, and 15. Assuming no speakers on the queue, we'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, thank you so much. So next we'll go ahead and take item 6, called special by Council Member Krikorian.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Members, this motion is an effort to protect a very precious neighborhood in Studio City. Cantura Street is one of the most beautiful tree-lined neighborhoods in our city. It features 90-year-old sycamore trees that are over 100 feet tall and creates a tremendous canopy that goes on for blocks. And you've probably seen this street in motion pictures. It's that noteworthy and that attractive. Those trees have been recognized as a historical resource by Survey LA. A 1996 Los Angeles Daily News article noted that the trees give the neighborhood an identity that is sorely lacking elsewhere in our fair city, and really they reflect the broad cultural, economic, or social history of the community, as reflected by Survey LA. So the problem is, though, that those trees and how much they contribute to that community are very often put at risk by developers who are expanding homes in the area, and when they expand their homes, the building code requires them to expand their driveways and the driveway apron, and that's in many cases endangering these trees and causing them to be cut down. So the motion before you would simply instruct the planning department to move forward with the nomination process to designate the sycamore trees along both sides of Cantura Street as a historic cultural monument in the city of Los Angeles because of their importance to the community and to our entire city. So I respectfully ask that you join me in this effort and ask for your aye vote.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, council members, let's go ahead and open the roll on item 6. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, thank you. That's approved. We'll go ahead and move on to item 8, called special by Council Member O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to rise and just speak briefly about item 8 here today, which instructs the Housing Community Investment Department, or HCID LA, to work with CLE's office and the CAO's office in establishing a permanent fund, a permanent stream of revenue for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. I want to acknowledge our colleagues Gil Cedillo, Felipe Fuentes, and Curran Price for their work on the Housing Committee for helping to push this forward and bring it to us today for a vote. As has been said countless times over the past several months, but it bears repeating, and that is we are in an affordable housing crisis in the city of Los Angeles. We are now the highest cost city in the United States per capita, and that is a dubious distinction that we should all be very ashamed of. We have 57,000 homeless people in the county of Los Angeles. 1 in 25 Americans in poverty live in Los Angeles County. It is not just a moral imperative that we address this and establish a permanent revenue stream for affordable housing. It is also good for the economy. For every dollar that is invested, we get $3 in return. It will create thousands of jobs. When we do this right, it will preserve existing affordable housing and result in new affordable housing along our transit lines. We need to not only focus on housing our homeless, we need to take care of our seniors, our veterans, and extremely low-income individuals in the city of Los Angeles. Dedicating a permanent source of revenue for the preservation and construction along our transit corridors is the right way to go, and we as city leaders should lead on this issue and not toil at the sidelines any longer. I mentioned it creates good jobs. I also just want to put out there that moving forward with the report coming back within 60 days, there is plenty of time to make this one of the priorities in our city budget going into 2015-2016. We need to put this on the table along with all of the other financial conversations we have in terms of minimum wage, in terms of subsidies for hotels, in terms of gross receipts tax reduction or elimination. This, my colleagues, is a great thing for us to be focusing on. When we do this right, it will help the economy and it will help house and keep housed the most vulnerable in society, and we can do this. So I thank you for your time, and I look forward to a unanimous vote supporting this resolution. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Huizar.
Thank you, and I just wanted to commend my colleagues, Mr. O'Farrell, Mr. Cedillo, and Mr. Fuentes for addressing this. You know, as the dollars for affordable housing keep dwindling, both from the federal and the state levels, this is probably one of the most important policy issues this city can be addressing at this time. There was some talk a while back about doing more to replenish this fund, to find a permanent source of funding. And now that the crisis has really hit us in the face, it's time to address it. We are behind addressing this several years. And I want to just applaud my colleagues for bringing this to the forefront. And hopefully we could find this source of permanent funding in the next budget cycle. One of the most pressing issues for the city, more and more housing for every level of income level is getting out of the reach of Angelenos. And whether we raise the minimum wage or not, if people can't afford to pay the rent or find a place to live, that's going to be for naught. Thank you.
Mr. Fuentes.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. O'Farrell, for your leadership on this issue and for including me on it. I know that if our colleague, Mr. Cedillo, were here, he would be speaking to this as well. As Mr. Huizar said, this is one of the most important things that the city of Los Angeles can do. Many of us were here to be able to witness the creation as staff the creation of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which is a significant policy movement for the city of Los Angeles and a demonstration that we really do value the need and the importance of housing. Since then, sadly, the disparity between the folks that can actually afford housing and wages has grown tremendously. Despite all of the warnings, we know that over 42% of most of people's income goes to housing. Over 42%. That's a real problem. The last study that was released, I forget which, if it was UCLA, go Bruins, or another location, was that we now know that Los Angeles has the same affordability, or lack in this case, as the city of San Francisco. They are the highest cities, Los Angeles and San Francisco, in order to be able to maintain housing. So our challenge is critical. The opportunity needs to be maximized. We know that the legislature recently, through the cap and trade funds, have made more money available as a permanent source of funding for this fund. We know that the boomerang funds could be a permanent source of funding for these funds. It's very, very important, colleague, that we do something about it. The time is now. Mr. O'Farrell, thank you for your leadership. And like I say, if Mr. Cedillo were here, he's also been tremendous on the item. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Okay, with that, colleagues, we'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, thank you very much. All right, that takes us to general public comment. General public comment, colleagues, we do have quite a number of cards. And under the agenda and the council rules, we do allow for 15 minutes of public comment. And so it's always been my preference to allow everybody an opportunity that has taken the time to come down here to City Hall, that has taken the time to sit through the meeting, that has taken the time and prepared their particular issues or talking points to try to hear from everybody. And so in the interest of that and in the spirit of the council rules, I'd like to allow everybody that opportunity. So we'll go ahead and go to, with that in mind, a minute on the clock so we can get through all the cards, and we can still do so with enough time for everybody to have that opportunity rather than cutting off public comment at just the 15-minute allotment. So with that, one at a time, please. Donna, come on up. What's that?
Actually, you should allow the 15 minutes for those people that were doing the presentations, and then we would have more time for this. Anyway, I want to say Obama needs reopen Van Nuys video conferencing. You only gave us a minute then, too. Obama needs to step down. My opinion, Obama is a Muslim himself. That's why the bombs are lightweight, not killing any terrorists, doing little damage. He should be tried, in my opinion, he should be tried for being an accomplice, allowing thousands of Kurds to be killed or more. ISIS has taken more territory than before the bombing. Obama gave the enemy 2-week advance warning to hide. And I feel as Obama is a traitor to this country and should be tried. He only cares about his fundraising. And he is denying war benefits for those who are fighting because Obama says it's not a war. Good news, ISIS probably won't attack for 2 years to honor his memory.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is John Smokey Brown. John Smokey Brown. Mr. Brown has left the building. Michael Weinstein. Michael Weinstein.
Thank you. The last time I was here, I was very gratified that you acted unanimously to create a city health commission. Unfortunately, that was in May, and now it's October, and to my knowledge, no action has yet been taken. I'd like to ask you a question. How prepared is Los Angeles to deal with Ebola? How are we dealing with meningitis? How are we dealing with whooping cough, where there are hundreds of cases? And so I ask you to take immediate action. This is a hot potato that's been thrown between the council, the city attorney's office, and the CAO. Simple matter. Appoint the members and call a first meeting. Really, there's nothing more to it than that. But I think that at a time where public health is the centerpiece of all international attention, there's an opportunity for the city council and the city to take a leadership. And I think it cannot be said at this point that it's being well done.
Thank you, Mr. Weinstein. I thought of you this morning because I want to track that. Thank you very much. Carl, Mr. Koretz. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Koretz.
I won't talk long on this because it's not on the agenda, but my understanding is that There were some minor language tweaks, but I think it is very close to being ready to go.
Very good.
And I think Ebola is important, and I introduced a motion asking us for a report back, but hopefully that report back will go to the new body that should be established shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Koretz. All public matters, public health, public works, public education, public art, very important. Carl, I want to say Williams. Is that correct, Carl? Step to the microphone.
Oh, man. Mr. Mike Bonin, please leave the vendors of Venice Beach alone. Stop harassing us with the police. Use the police to protect the public. People getting robbed, starved, run over by cars in Venice Beach, tourists, and the citizen of Los Angeles getting harassed. You have the biggest problem in your community, a drugs problem, gang problem, but you're not using taxpayers' money to fight those problems, but you use taxpayers' money to harass the vendors in Venice Beach, especially the black vendors, for no reason, because you feel you have the right to do so, of violating federal law. The state of California gives us the right to be there. And St. Augustine said, and just law is no law.
Eric Smith. Eric Smith. Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith. Jackie Lee. Jackie Lee. Michael Hunt.
God damn it again. Notice to appear. If anybody can answer this section code, fuck white niggers too. It's on the ticket. It's right here. If you can answer what penal code, what LAMC code this is, fuck white niggers too, I'll give you $100. That's the city's money. Furthermore, who amends an ordinance to be unconstitutional? Nobody but Mike Bonin. Who amends an ordinance to be unconstitutional? Just like the ticket says, fuck white niggers too. This is a classic. Notice to appear.
Mr. Hunt, hold this time, please. Mr. Hunt, we can hear you, but I don't want you to hurt the microphone. Continue, please. Tone it down just a little. Thank you.
All right. Who gets a ticket and it says fuck white niggers too? Notice to appear, LA Court 05477. Only one, Mr. Hunt. 51 times arrested. This is a true ticket. Freedom of expression ticket, you guys. This is it. You guys should be ashamed of yourself.
For those listening on Channel 35, I apologize for any language that was offensive. Mr. City Attorney, thank you, Mr. Hunt. That's your right to say that, but it sure is horrible language. Next speaker is Brian Barajas.
There's two events on Ebola. One in the House Committee on Homeland Security on October the 10th. The other one October 16th with House Committee on Emergency and Commerce, Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations meeting. So I wanted to, there's something that I guess I wanted to make explicit. The morality, I should say, if we're going to be moral in dealing with top-down processes, we have to deal with the fact that because we have not built ourselves to the immortality that God ordained man, and this means going to the stars, we are facing the worst crisis that mankind has ever faced. And until you join LaRouche, you're going to die.
John Walsh.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org. Vote no on every single state proposition. propositions? No, 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 no. Send a message. Okay. A man named Rodriguez was beaten up, was thrown out of his wheelchair on Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood and Highland, beaten almost half to death. No stories in the media. That happened 2 weeks ago. When he died the other day, fortunately, the media, the TV picked it up, and now the LA Times. Let me tell you, if you're an Hispanic man and you're beaten to death on Hollywood Boulevard, they don't give a damn. If you're a transsexual and you get killed, that'll be a big story. But if you're a black man in a wheelchair, no one gives a damn. Water hog. I hope you found out, Tom LaBonge, 16,000 gallons of water wasted. It was on KNBC, HollywoodHighlands.org.
Mr. Herman.
August 7th, 2013, federal ruling. Why is it unconstitutional to restrict speakers from making personal attacks in a council meeting? Sometimes the use of language does not conform to conventions of celebrity or decorum, but you cannot sacrifice political speech to a formula, to tolerate profanities. Mr. Peppa Pig, as you speak to Mr. Weezer, please sit down. And what about you, premature Mr. Kokorian, with your little ears and your red face, little leprechaun?
Mr. City Attorney, would you inform the Mr.
truth.
City Attorney, hold on here.
I got 18 seconds on general public comment.
Yes, Mr. City Attorney, hold his time. Hold his time. Thank you very much. Mr. City Attorney.
Mr. President, the public comment speaker should direct his comments to the council as a whole.
Thank you very much.
But,
Sergeant?
Mr. President, if I may.
Uh-huh.
For the record, the Speaker can say whatever foolish and ridiculous things he'd like to say about any member of the body during general public comment. I mean, I think that, we've all come to know that Mr. Herman's comments are, inherently irrelevant to anything that goes on in this council, but he's certainly entitled to speak his mind during general public comment and can insult any of us individually as much as he'd like. There's nothing out of order about insulting an individual member of the council, no matter how ridiculous and foolish it may make him appear.
Okay, Madam Clerk, if you could look at me for a second, take the clock up to 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Thank you.
Once
Proceed.
again, why is it unconstitutional to restrict speaking? You're doing more harm to the public in your grudgeful resentment to the speakers who criticize you. We the gadflies, and we make it a point. Eat.
Okay, that completes public comment. Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's before us?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
So ordered. Any announcements, members? Any announcements? I do have an adjourning motion. All rise for adjourning motions. Announcements, Mr. Weezer.
Adjourning motions after you, Mr. President. Or should I go ahead?
Yeah, please all rise. Will our guests please rise, sergeants? Mr. Sergeant, would you inform the speaker who's making comment to be a little more respectful? For the record, Mr. City
President,
Attorney.
if I may, for the record, Mr. Herman, as the council is beginning to do adjournments in memory of important peoples in the city who've passed away, Mr. Herman is leaving the building, shouting out and disrupting our meeting. It should be noted that he continues to disrupt the meeting, even when he's not at the microphone.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Please note that. Mr. Weezer.
Thank you, Mr. President. And colleagues, it's real with a heavy heart and sad feelings that we ask for adjourning today's motion in honor of a great Angelino, someone who has graced us with her presence in Northeast Los Angeles and in Eagle Rock. Family member and son, Tom Topping, is with us here today. And, whenever a family member passes, it's really heartbreaking. But when you see Tom and the love he had for his mom and being at every community event and participating in various improvements in Eagle Rock, and both of them being there supporting the community. It's really with a heavy heart that we announce the passing of Patricia Topping. She was born on July 20th, 1924 in Grand Rapids, Michigan, to the parents Marjorie Candy Nolan and Thomas Francis Vincent Nolan. Pat graduated from Mount Mercy Academy High School and earned her bachelor's degree from the Art Institute of Chicago. After graduating college, she became well known as a graphic artist, fine artist, and calligrapher. In 1955, she and her husband Frederick Bud L. Topping purchased a home in Eagle Rock just before the birth of her two children, Marguerite and Frederick Thomas Topping. Pat was an Eagle Rock celebrity, well known about town for her community involvement, improving Eagle Rock as a Girl Scout leader, a League of Women Voters organizer, and as a member of the local Coordinating Council and Terra, which is also known as the Eagle Rock Association. She was also dedicated to St. Dominic's Church and, while her children attended, the PTA at St. Dominic's School. From 1960 to 1986, she worked at the Los Angeles County Graphic Arts Department, providing thousands of calligraphic certificates, diplomas, and other works on behalf of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors to royalty and other visiting heads of state, as well as graduate of the Los Angeles County Hospital Nursing Program. In 1974, she and local calligraphers founded the Society for Calligraphy, promoting education and exhibitions of calligraphic art, which now has thousands of members worldwide. In her later years, Pat was a volunteer at a local food bank, the Eagle Rock Senior Center, and the Eagle Rock Historical Society. Pat loved animals and the arts, was a veteran traveler, and was deeply dedicated to her community and family. She is survived by her two children, Tom and Marguerite. Her activism served as an inspiration for her son, Tom, who went on to resurrect the local Eagle Rock community newspaper and has served as the editor-in-chief of the Boulevard Sentinel since 1997. Services are being planned and details will be announced soon. Both myself and Councilmember Gil Cedillo asked for this adjournment. And Tom, thank you so much for sharing Pat with us. She was a real blessing to have in the Northeast community, and she will never be forgotten. Thank you so much. May she rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless your mother. There's nobody like our mothers. Mr. Huizar, any adjourning motions on this side? Mr. Koretz.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Tom, I suspect you will appreciate this as well. I wanted to adjourn in memory of Paul Revere, the frontman of the band Paul Revere and the Raiders, an act that was big in the 60s, and they performed in Revolutionary War garb and three-cornered hats, and had 20 consecutive major hits in their storied career. My favorite songs of theirs were Kicks and I'm Not Your Stepping Stone. Paul Revere passed on at age 76.
And it was fun. He was on the house band for American Bandstand right there by Marshall High, and it was all that stuff. And the teenage fairs, all the things that we don't have today that we had then, you saw those bands play. God bless his memory. And members, I said to you before, we have Sister City of Berlin. I've had a great interns, too, this last summer. And just completing an intern was our intern, Alex Dobobratsky. And on his last day, he got word on his way home that his father had passed. So he left the City of Angels to go greet his family. He was a wonderful young man. He used to walk around and he used to sign the resolutions. And he would tell me what to do. But that's because he was such a special, special young man. He had a special father who passed at 66. He leaves his brother Max and his sister as well as his mom. I ask we adjourn in memory of Henry Dobobratsky of Berlin. Thank you. This completes today's meeting. Go ahead and serve the city well. And thank you to the staff of the City Council for their assistance, the sergeants, the clerks, and the city attorney every once in a while.